Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Craig Hiking Pipes. And you can see spring has definitely sprung in the Maryland area. Got some really nice blooms going on, and everything is nice and green and lush and a little rainy overnight, kind of overcast today. So it's a Friday. As such, again, as I do every Friday, I'm smoking my Matches commemorative pipe. This is the Savinelli 673, Friday Savinelli. And with it, I am having some John Cotton's double pressed creme. Pretty good tobacco. I find this very similar in a lot of regards to McBaron's vanilla creme or vanilla flake, and with regard to the aroma and the way it smokes. This is a very delicate crumble cake. And I find that you really have to kind of sip it gently to, first of all, get the appreciation of the tobacco, as well as it tends to burn just a tad bit hot. So, this morning's topic: the importance of good shoes. Why do I bring this up? Well, because I can. And my biggest lesson learned as to why good shoes are important really occurred on a business trip that I did to Germany. And this trip revolved around a trade show. So I had, me and a coworker had been requested to go over to Germany and to attend a trade show for our company and be representatives for our company. As such, my work environment with that company was pretty casual, so I didn't have any real good business attire. So I went out and got myself a suit and tie and that kind of stuff, and also looked around and figured I need a new pair of dress shoes. Now again, really very, very infrequently wore dress shoes. Hence why I kind of needed a new pair. Just didn't have anything laying around. So, price conscious, figuring, well, it's just once in a while I have to wear dress shoes. I went out and bought a relatively cheap pair of dress shoes. Genuine imitation leather, aka vinyl. So, packed up and went to Germany. Put the day of the trade show. Trade show was multiple days, but the first day of the trade show, got all duded up. Went to the trade show. Was on my feet all day long, and this was the Heidelhain trade show, and it's a huge trade show in northern Germany. Football fields of different companies being represented, anything from cranes down to rubber bands almost. It was quite a show, and as such, I wanted to visit other portions of the trade show. So I started to really log the steps that day. Well, as the day wore on, feet were starting to hurt a bit. The combination of all the steps as well as just being on the feet at our own trade show booth, really, feet were not happy. After the show, my coworker and I met up with our German representatives for some dinner and a little bit of sightseeing, and it was just a continuation. of the day, and my feet were getting worse and worse, and I was actually starting to hobble a bit as we were walking to restaurant, and then we went out for drinks afterwards, and we went to a local pub, which was really kind of cool. But just walking the streets, I was hobbling on both of my feet, and my coworkers, as well as the representatives, were giving me a hard time about walking. I wasn't laughing too much. They thought it was kind of comical, but I was really in a lot of pain. Finally, after the night was through, my coworker and I got back to our hotel. Now, because this trade show is so popular, hotel rooms were, number one, extraordinarily expensive, and number two, very sparse. So, in an unusual set of circumstances, I actually had to share a hotel room with a coworker. So we got back to our room, and the first thing I did was ever so gingerly trying to peel these shoes off of my feet. Coworkers still thought it was pretty funny. My reaction, I was grimacing it was just so stinking painful. Finally got my shoes off, and then gingerly started to peel my socks off. And again, my coworker's watching this show go on. He's amused until I got my socks off. Then his expression totally changed. My feet were mangled. I had literally silver dollar blisters on both of my heels that had broken off. Other parts of my feet were red and raw and scratched up. As a function of these shoes being essentially plastic, feet couldn't breathe at all day long. On top of that, because I was kind of dressed up in a suit or what have you, I wasn't wearing very absorbent socks. So I was wearing, thin dress socks, which really didn't help the situation much at all. But his expression changed. And he looked at me and said, actually asked, do we have to get you to a hospital? And I was not going to a hospital in a foreign country. I just wasn't going to go through that. But I said no, and, I just said let them air out, and, hopefully they'll eventually heal. And what I then proceeded to do, picked up my shoes, walked over to the trash bin and just dropped them in. Worn once, never again. Fortunately, I had brought with me as a pair of casual walk-arounds, figuring I'd be doing some of that with sitting on the plane and what have you. I had a pair of very comfortable Rockport shoes. Real leather, very soft soles. Didn't match my suit, but I didn't care. I was not wearing those shoes again. So, for anybody considering buying a cheap pair of shoes, it's not worth it. This $20 pair of plastic shoes that look like leather, it was just no good. No other way to put it. So, that's my little shoe story for this Friday. I hope everybody is well, being safe. Most importantly, being good to one another. We'll talk to you again real soon. Take care for now. Bye bye.